What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another Straight Shooters video. I'm your host, Sid, and today we're going to do another NFL Weekly Power Rankings. We're now on week 7, and we're almost halfway through the season. I believe the teams are starting to settle in as to what kind of tier they're on, and that's going to reflect in this week's Power Rankings. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Number 32, we have the Panthers. Number 31, the Browns. Number 30, the Patriots. Number 29, the Jaguars. Now, I'm kind of lumping all these teams together because they all pretty much suck. They all lost last week. And they should all probably be starting to get their scouts ready for the draft. We're going to move on to the next team. Number 28, we have the Titans. Now, y'all about to be lumped in with the other trash because y'all not even fun to watch as losers no more, man. Y'all made the games a sight because just weird stuff happened. Your quarterback is like a maniac out there, just trying anything. But y'all soon to be lumped in with the 4 aforementioned teams. At 27, we have the Raiders. Now, you guys got the double whammy this week. Y'all both lose and trade away your best weapon on offense in Davante Adams. On a positive note, that 3rd round pick you got might become a 2nd rounder. So fingers crossed for that, I guess. Number 26, we had the Dolphins. And number 25, we had the Rams. Y'all were both on bye week, so y'all both stay the same. Number 24, we have the Bengals. Now, I have to move y'all up because y'all won and because some of the other teams down there with you are trash, but I don't like it. And I like it even less that I had the halfway watch you bums as the Sunday night nightcap against the Giants. And damn, I wish they was able to flex that game out. But I digress. Next, we had the Colts at number 23. You guys beat the Titans. Need I say more? Number 22, we have the Giants. So normally I'd move the Bengals up here because they beat y'all and y'all both ended up with the same record. But I just can't fathom moving the Bengals up so much after a win against such a terrible team and for making me watch that game. So I'm gonna leave the Giants right there, but next time y'all gonna drop with a loss. Number 21, we had the Saints. Now, somehow you guys don't drop after getting crushed by the Bucks. It's because both teams above and below you in the power rankings, it's just some teams are winning, some teams are losing, some teams are, struggling with injuries and stuff like that. It's just kind of like a weird spot when we get to around this early 20s, late teens area. So that's why the Saints are still stuck at 21. Number 20, we have the Cardinals. Now it's about time that the Cardinals start sinking in these power rankings, man. I was kind of high on them earlier because they pulled off some kind of like, I guess, overachieving wins against the Rams and the 49ers. But those are divisional opponents, so sometimes you got to expect divisional rivals to upset each other like that, even if they're low tier compared to the top tier ones. So I think the Cardinals are now starting to show their true colors. They're not that good on defense. Their offense is still a work in progress. They still haven't really consistently been able to find a way to get Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball. McBride's been okay. Running game's been okay. All of that could be better, though. Yeah, just going to leave them right there. Number 19, we have the Jets. So I think this is the second time that the Jets have actually lost their way up the power rankings. They lost a close one against the Bills, but they traded for Davante Adams, and maybe that changes the state of their offense. The main problem with that, however, has been the play of Aaron Rodgers. He's really looked like trash because he hasn't been on page with his receivers. And, besides Allen Lazard. but he hasn't been able to get on page with Garrett Wilson as for the main part, and Mike Williams. As we saw, that interception, definitely not on the same page. The running game appears to be decent if they actually commit to running the ball. The defense is fine. Offensive line is still kind of shaky. But the main thing with them is that Aaron Rodgers cannot get on page with his receiving core, and he's looking like an old man. Maybe Devontae Adams changes that. We'll see going forward. Number 18, we have the Broncos. So, since I'm late again, we just saw the Broncos win in dominant fashion on Thursday night. But this is about what they did in Week 6, which they lost to a division rival with the Chargers, and that keeps them from moving up. Number 17, we have the Eagles. So the Eagles, that one was so ugly that I almost decided to drop y'all in the power rankings. But again, as I said about these late teens and early 20 teams, the performances of the other teams in the vicinity kept me from dropping y'all. So y'all get to move up a spot. I guess the most positive thing I could say about this game was that there was no turnovers for the offense. Jalen Hurts, generally, he basically took care of the ball this time. Defense held it down, even though, what does that mean against the Browns offense? I don't know. They get the Giants next. Giants suck. They should beat them. Saquon, he gets to this is a revenge game for him, so he gets to torture his ex-team. They should roll on the Giants. They should beat the Giants by somewhere from 8 to 13 points, something like that. Next, we have the Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks are the truest definition of mid. They start the season off winning the first 3 games, reaching as high as number 7 in my power rankings. And then they turn around and they lose the next 3 games. So now they're 3-3, and I have them ranked 16th. Next up, they have a matchup with the 4-2 Falcons, and I guess that game will kind of give a gauge as to whether the Seahawks are just now sinking and that they start off just strong, but the true colors of the team is showing, or if they beat the Falcons, it shows that they're still one of those teams to be reckoned with. So moving on to number 15, we have the 49ers. So speaking of the Seahawks, they just beat the Seahawks in a head-to-head to take the lead of the division. And, I guess the 49ers are starting to try to figure a way to, 1, overcome injury, and 2, be more consistent. The problem for them has been these leads. In the second half, they're just like blowing these leads, and they almost blew it in the game against the Seahawks. At some point, I think they was up 23-3, so they was up by 20 points in the third quarter, and then the Seahawks just started to come back on them, man. It was almost looking like the same old story, but the 49ers managed to score a couple more times and seal that game away. Next, they have the Chiefs, which is definitely a team that they cannot afford to do that against. And, this is the Super Bowl rematch. I'm pretty sure that they'll be geared up to be in top form against them. Now, whether they perform like that or not, that's a different story. They'll definitely be up for that game. Number 14, we have the Bears. So the Bears, y'all went across the pond and beat the Jaguars in, basically their second home, because they get those London games every year. And the thing I want to say about them is that Caleb Williams is starting to put together, a couple things, as far as being more consistent, making better reads. He's developing. He's developing over the time as he gets these easy defenses to play against, and not only that, his defense is holding it down. So these weak teams are allowing him to really develop his game and get used to the NFL. And from, I guess, about week 2, week 3-ish, when he looked a little bit out of sorts, from that point going forward, he's starting to look like the player he was drafted to be. So steadily, the Bears are becoming a threat in the NFC. They are 4-2, which is a surprise to me. And that's a very competitive NFC North. I think none of the teams are below 500. Moving on. Next, we have the Chargers at number 13. You guys get to stay in the same spot. Y'all fended off those pesky Broncos. Good work there. Number 12, Cowboys. So, how about them Cowboys? It seems like I say that every week. A week removed from pulling out last minute win against the Steelers, you go home and wet the bed against the Lions. In the previous 2 years, y'all were basically unbeatable at home, but now this year, it's like y'all can't get a win. All the losses have been embarrassing, and I really don't know what that is about. Like, I mean, you would think that a team that's been such a strong team at defending their home field would continue that train that what am I looking for? They would continue that trend. That's the word. They would continue that trend, as in, you know, the home crowd is supposed to give you that oomph, but they've been basically getting embarrassed at home. And I guess it's probably a double-edged sword, because they was getting a lot of those good teams on their home schedule, and as I was looking at their schedule, I was like, damn, they get all the good teams at home. It's like they put that in Dallas' favor. But now it's turning out to be a detriment, because now they get embarrassed in front of their own home fans. I know Jerry's frustrated. I'm surprised that he hasn't made any snap judgments. But he's shown to be, I don't know necessarily patient is what you would call it, but stubborn. But anyways, with all that said, luckily they get a bye week, and they get a chance to regroup and get healthier. Missing Micah was also a big part of the problems for the last couple of weeks. So yeah, that's it for the Cowboys. Number 11, we have the Commanders. So basically, the Ravens came in and kind of momentarily knocked y'all off y'all high horse. It's not too much of a big deal. And your next game, you get some medicine, because guess who you play? My Panthers. So not much to worry about with y'all. Number 10, we have the Bills. So y'all beat the Jets, which isn't saying much. It ain't much to write home about in the moment. And y'all made a good move by trading for Amari Cooper, and y'all get the Titans next. So I guess all is well in Buffalo right now. Number 9, you had the Steelers. So after a narrow defeat at the hands of the Cowboys, y'all bounced back by handling the Raiders. But QB controversy starts now, because the word is that Russell Wilson is starting the next game against the Jets instead of Justin Fields. We'll see how Russ plays, and low-key, I think Justin will still get some snaps in this game. You know, might be some third or fourth and shorts or some goal line work where he can utilize his ability to run the ball. But putting Russ in, so we'll see how that goes. Number 9, we have the Packers. So the Packers took care of the Cardinals and basically keep moving up the rankings. Number 8, we have the Bucks. So after the thrilling battle against the Falcons, you know, a game which y'all lost narrowly, y'all bounced back trashing the Saints, and y'all get the Ravens on Monday night. Number 6, the aforementioned Falcons. So after a thrilling battle for the division and beating the Bucks, y'all got to play a game that was better than a bye. Y'all had the Panthers. Y'all rolled us. So no challenge there. But now you do have a challenge, because this week you got the Seahawks, and the Seahawks are really probably borderline desperate after losing 3 straight games. So this is yet another test for y'all to assert your dominance in the NFC by knocking off a team that y'all are 4-2, they're 3-3. This is a chance to knock off another competitive team. Number 5, we have the Ravens. Now the Ravens, they're in the same spot as last week, and things have changed a lot. They started off 0-2, and now they're 4-2. So they get the Bucks on Monday night, as I said before, and we'll see where it goes from there. Number 4, we have the Texans. We have another case of better than a bye, as they face the Patriots in their last game. But now they get a challenge because they get to play the Packers. So it's a battle of 2 very good young quarterbacks. Number 3, we have the Lions. So this is a case of bittersweetness. You get to shellac the Cowboys in their home in Jerry World, and that was wonderful. At one point, y'all were doing all sorts of trick plays. Y'all had an offensive lineman lining up at tight end, about to catch passes. Y'all was doing flea flickers, all sorts of things. Clowning the Cowboys, basically. But where there's great joy, there's also equal devastation, because edge rusher Hayden, excuse me, y'all. Aiden Hutchinson broke his leg rushing the passer late in the game, and he's going to be out for the year. It was bad. And now the Lions will have a true test to how they're going to respond to such a great loss, because he was not only one of the leaders of the defense, but just one of the great leaders of the team. Certainly their best defensive player. And I don't know how they replace that. So we'll see how the next man up steps up, and how they're going to bounce back, I guess more so mentally. And they ain't got no time to waste, because they get the Vikings, who are undefeated, as their next challenge. Number 2, speaking of the Vikings. Speaking of the Vikings, you guys were on the bye last week, so obviously you don't change in the rankings, and you get the Lions. However, it's without Aiden Hutchinson, so we'll see if y'all can take advantage of that. Game on. Number 1, king of the power rankings again, because you was on the bye. We have the Chiefs. So Chiefs get the Niners, but they're coming off a bye, and Andy Reid is basically unbeatable coming off a bye. But the only marks against him is when the other team also is coming off of their bye. And the 49ers didn't quite come off of a bye, but they played on a Thursday night game, which gives them some extended rest. So it's like a halfway bye in a way. So we'll see if the Niners can do anything to try to usurp the throne. And that's it. We have the Week 7 power rankings. We'll go over one more time for y'all. Number 1 was the Chiefs. Number 2 was the Vikings. Number 3 was the Lions. Number 4 was the Texans. Number 5 was the Ravens. Number 6 was the Falcons. Number 7 was the Bucks. Number 8 was the Packers. Number 9 was the Steelers. Number 10 was the Bills. Number 11 was the Commanders. Number 12 was the Cowboys. Number 13 was the Chargers. Number 14 was the Bears. Number 15 was the Niners. Number 16 was the Seahawks. Number 17 was the Eagles. Number 18 was the Broncos. Number 19, the Jets. Number 20, the Cardinals. Number 21, the Saints. Number 22, the Giants. Number 23, the Colts. Number 24, the Bengals. Number 25, the Rams. Number 26, the Dolphins. Number 27, the Raiders. Number 28, the Titans. Number 29, the Jaguars. Number 30, the Patriots. Number 31, the Browns. And finally, number 32, my woeful Panthers. That's it for this week's Power Rankings. Thank you so much for your time. I'm out again. Peace.